It is said that small minds discuss people, average minds discuss events, and great minds discuss ideas. Hello and namaste. Here we are to discuss some of the potentially path-breaking and revolutionary ideas that has the promise to change the world. It is somewhat like the modern French Revolution or the modern Renaissance. We are going to discuss it with a man who is known as the patron of peace, none other than Mr. Deepak Vyas, the founder of Global Trust. Let's take a sneak peek in his life and career so far. Deepak Vyas has had a kaleidoscopic career, with a very bright academic career culminating in a BCom honors from an internationally reputed MS University, Baroda. He went on to join Life Insurance Corporation of India, a giant public sector insurance enterprise, as a development officer, and has to his credit a team of over 25 dedicated agents catering to thousands of customers. He is on the advisory board of many notable companies and is associated with a wide spectrum of business organizations. But right from the childhood days, he has nurtured a selfless dream of borderless world, with a burning desire to see a world united, with no borders, no passport, no visa, and no restrictions. The journey towards the noble cause and a magnificent mission began in the year 1996 when he established the Global Trust, a trust dedicated exclusively for the propagation of the idea of the borderless democracy and to serve the humanity. He traveled the length and breadth of the country, delivering lectures in schools, colleges, universities, awakening the youth for the next big revolution and organizing scores of social activities. His path-breaking ideas have been propagated across the print media via several newspapers and magazines. He runs a website named globalharmony.info. Since last couple of years, he has been publishing a newsletter titled Global Democracy. One of the chief guiding principles of the Global Trust remains to follow only one religion, which is the religion of humanity. The Trust has been successful in striking a chord of harmony amongst different religious groups of Hindu, Muslim, and Christian. He also dared to visit the catastrophic area of the Mumbai blast on 26/11, which had jolted the whole nation, to pay homage to the victims of the blast. He was interviewed by the popular news channel NDTV. His revolutionary ideas and indomitable spirit have garnered bountiful accolades from several big organizations. He was invited as the guest of honor and a keynote speaker by Sri Ramanujan Mission Trust, Chennai, on the eve of the International Peace Day. He was presented with the Excellence Award for National Social Activity by the Global Achievers Foundation, New Delhi. He delivered a remarkable speech at the United Nations headquarters on the need for single united world and took the entire August House by storm. His Dandi March, marked with an oath-taking ceremony for the mission of the global democracy, gathered unprecedented momentum and has been multiplying since then, promising the dawn of the global democracy. Welcome, sir.
Nice meeting you. Good morning.
Good morning. Let me start by asking you to shed some light on the much referred to term BGD. What's that?
That's a good question. BGD is a sort of borderless global democracy. We in the Global Trust believe that there is no need of any border. We have so many countries on this earth and we have so many problems, so many fear of war, terrorism, poverty, starvation, everything that comes from the border only. The basic reason behind all the chaos and problem and starvation and poverty on this earth, it is because of borders only and because of the nations only. The big brother wants to become big, much bigger. It is at the cost of small, starving nations. Until there is a border, there will be problem. So we believe that there should be no borders on the earth and people should have really total freedom. to migrate anywhere and live anywhere peacefully, happily, and prosper smoothly. That's why we believe that we need Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, we should have a borderless global democracy.
So then, do you feel that the developed nations today, the G8 that we call, or the developed nations in specific, why do you think they would want to lift the burden of the underdeveloped or the underprivileged nations?
That's true. After all, people are living for harmony, peace, and prosperity. If you take the example of USA, USA is nothing but the global community. It's a very big global village where people from all the countries of the world have migrated and living very happily, peacefully, and with brotherhood. So, if they can live, why not the global community of 7 billion people? And creating much better harmony, much better balance, much better prosperity, much better equality. We don't say everybody should be equal, but everybody should have basic 5 minimum facilities of food, shelter, clothing, health, and education. And these 5 things can be fulfilled to all the 7 billion people of the global community only by eliminating the defense budget. It is deadly defense, and deadly defense can be eliminated only if there is no national border. We don't mind borders. We do have borders on the states also, in the districts also, but there is no question of war. There is total peace.
Please give us a sense of. You mentioned the budget for the military or the defense.
Yeah.
What must be the military budget?
See, once there will be a global democracy, there will be no question of defense system required at all. There will be no need of any atomic arms and ammunitions. We don't need AK-57 or AK-107, whatever it is. They may find out something new even. This is all deadly.
It's a very interesting point made, because I was referring to the documentation that you had made, and it showed the figures that by eliminating or by converting the budget into a fund for a complete nation, I think it can fund a nation like any African nation today.
No, the thing is that the global total defense budget is in trillions of US dollar. If you divide it by the global population, it comes to around 400 rupees per person per day. It's a very big budget being vested unnecessarily in the name of national defense, which is not required at all now. Because if the third war takes place, there will be no possibility of fourth world war. The way Einstein said that the fourth world war, if at all it takes place, will be fought by bows and arrows, and we don't want to take a chance that we face that very bad time. Instead, we should be faster enough to eliminate the borders and eliminate the defense system. And if there is no nation, there will be no question of defense. And the same budget will be diverted to the global welfare.
One of the topmost objectives also crystal out as the elimination of defense.
That's true, very true. And it is possible only if there is no border.
But then another question which emerges is, can we expect a mature democracy, a defenseless system?
Yeah, very much.
And a peaceful, harmonious coexistence amongst people? Can we expect that?
Absolutely right, 100%. This is the only way. Because you see, whatever terrorism takes place, I don't say it is a terrorism. Maybe it is a fight for their own survival in their own way. But the thing is that it is a negative way. And it comes out from small, developing, independent countries where there is no good leadership, where there is no good democracy, maybe where there is no good guidance even. And so many small training centers are over there world over for developing the terrorists. And they come to the advanced places and create the chaos. So if there is a good global governance, there will be no possibility of any terrorist camp in the advanced places when it is very well managed by the advanced democracy. If you see world over, most of the countries are in a baby stage of democracy because there is no proper development, there is no proper leadership, there is no better system. It is passing through the teething trouble. If the advanced countries, the advanced management, highly qualified people, dedicated people comes and rules or manages or gives the service to the society as a political leader, then we'll definitely have the best possible global setup on the earth, which will give best possible survival to the global community.
But isn't in a way the lives of certain people, aren't we putting that on risk? As certain countries today are in a great state of turmoil.
That's true. Your question is very much correct, but that also again supports the global cause only. If you see the cause of Syria, 2 lakhs people have been killed within 1.5 years. It's a great civil war going on. If you see the position of CAR, Central African Republic, if you see the case of Sudan, if you see the case of Afghanistan, Pakistan, Iran and Iraq, all this, there is no peace at all. There is nothing like administration. There is nothing like democratic setup here because they lack proper management. They lack proper democratic system. It is excellent when you go to the European countries where you will find the best possible democracy. And ours, you will be surprised to see the democratic quality of democratic setup of India is 78th in ranking. Even though it is one of the biggest global setup on the earth. When 78th rank is giving peaceful life, harmonious life for 65 years. What will be the stage of global democracy when it is really very mature democracy? And it is possible when it is not ruled, but it is served rather. Because they come to serve, not to rule. The politicians, the Democrats are supposed to be good saints in the form of a politician. We don't expect that they become the kings in the form of white laws or in the form of a senator or MP. They are supposed to serve the society, and we will teach them how to serve the society in a better way. We will expect that qualified, sensible, dedicated, well-trained, selected and elected people come out from the society and they dedicate their entire life for the welfare of the global community. And global community will definitely assure that their life is properly protected throughout the life. And they will have no personal wealth at all. And there is no question of personal wealth. There will be no mismanagement from their side. Because there will be dedicated people only.
Coming to the reference of India again and again in your documentation, what makes you to refer to the Indian model again and again?
That's true. See, I being from India, naturally I know much more about India, and that's why I have to give reference of India only. Again, second thing is that it is the biggest democratic setup on the earth. So the ideal example that for 65 years there is no military rule, there is no dictatorship, there is no failure. No doubt the quality is little lesser because it is a poor country. But the best possible example on the earth where all different sorts of religion, caste, color, creed, language, culture and identity coexist harmoniously. If it can happen in India, why not at a global level?
That gives us all the reason to believe that this idea is promising and this can be executed
very much possible
on the model of India.
Exactly right. On that line, and from the most successful countries with best possible democratic setup, maybe from Europe or US or any other country, which are falling in the first 10 ranks, we can take the lessons from them that how we can have best possible democratic setup. And there are so many people working worldwide on this. You can take the example of Chairman Dufour, you can take the example of Gary Davis, you can take the example of Lord Meghnad Desai, you can take the example of Amartya Sen, the Nobel Prize winner in economics, Dr. Jagdish Bhagwati, associated with the Columbia University in New York, and so many famous people world over like David Hale. I will give you one extraordinary example. Dr. Harold Kroto is a Nobel Prize winner in chemistry. He is a British, lives in USA. I visited the Tallahassee personally, Florida, head of the department in chemistry, and leading the society and talking about global democracy, global citizenship and global management. A man of science can understand it, why not a common man? And if you talk about qualified people, he is a Nobel Prize winner. The legendary father figure is Gary Davis, who is a man of 90 years old, the living legend on the earth, fighting for this cause for the last 70 years, who gave up American Air Force, who fought Second World War even. But he got frustrated because of the war, that what for this war everywhere. So he came to India and understood the philosophy of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam from one Swamiji named Natarajan near Bangalore. And he gave up his American citizenship. He is fighting since then for the global cause, for the global democracy, for the global harmony, for the global citizenship, and for the global governance. Who has till today, by now, distributed more than 2.5 million global passport as a valid document, accepted by 7 different countries world over. And he travels world over with that passport as a document, goes to the country with American passport, and when he leaves the country, he produces the global passport that if you want to leave, send me off from this country, please stamp your exit on my global passport. And they have to accept. And he is fighting for this global peace cause world over since 1945-46. And for us, he is the living legend, father figure for global democracy, we consider him the best possible living pioneer of global democracy now. And we have a big list of pioneers working for this cause. And you can check through our directory also available on website and in soft copy anywhere. This is the photograph of Mary Davis.
Now, as we see, the theoretical part has been moreover covered. But now let's go on to the practical side of it. How do you see it being implemented? What do you see the model of global democracy? And how do you see it being executed?
See, the model of democracy will be like that, where people will be getting all five basic needs of survival, that is food, clothes, health, education and shelter. That is what human being is fighting for the life. And when the global democratic setup is set really, honestly, in the best possible way, people will have all these five basic facilities provided by the government only, smoothly and easily, without much of the burden. Because the huge spare fund from the defense services will get diverted towards the welfare services.
What role does United Nations play in particular?
That's true. After all, United Nations is the only global authority working successfully world over, everywhere on every nook and corner of the world. They are trying to keep peace on the earth through peacekeeping forces. They are doing a lot of charity throughout the world in so many fields, in health, in peace, in welfare, in education, and all of these things. But they are feeling a little helpless. They also want that there should be some global good governance. But nowadays, they are under so many pressures from another big successful countries. I won't give any names, but those who are very powerful 7-8 countries, they are pressurizing for their own selfish needs. And we wish that if it is removed and if a global governance, a global setup, global administration is put in the form of a global tree through United Nations in the form of a united world under borderless global democracy, it will be a real
How do we get started with this? How does the execution start? Step by step, what's the procedure that you see?
First of all, we have to pressurize the United Nations to be more bold, to take actions. There are no doubt organizing mock parliament through the college students just for the sake of testing. But now the time has come. It is right time. It is right time. It is a mature time to really form the global government.
Do you think a step like a world march that you conducted a couple of
not me,
years back?
Many other
probably
people,
you participated
I was just witness only. I was just witness only. We need some more strategic planning now, just to execute this very successfully, very faster. And for that, we have worked out a formula that we have to oppose positively in front of the elder brother United Nations. It's not our enemy. We are supporting them, but we have to be peacefully negative marcher. We have to submit the memorandum that please form the global parliament now. We have to protest.
On the footsteps of Mahatma Gandhi.
On the footsteps of Mahatma Gandhi.
Because even I see him being referred again and again.
He is my mentor after all, because he is the person who has given real example how to live as a human being. No doubt, I am not on the footsteps of Mahatma Gandhi.
This probably even reflects the ideology of Mahatma Gandhi.
Absolutely. He used to say that I won't like to live in that world where the brothers, nations and borders fight for the borders. This is not the earth where I would like to live. This is what he said.
So probably Soul will be very happy to hear that some people on the earth are discussing about
definitely,
borderless
and
democracy.
The blessings are coming from all these people like Gandhiji, Churchill even, Einstein even, Socrates even. All these people used to say that we need universal brotherhood. And the right time has come of management that we should execute it properly in the best possible way so that global community gets the real administration.
Now, as I see, you are planning a giant leap from India on international levels. And for that, the first giant step you're planning to take in United States of America. Why United States in particular?
Good question. United States is the biggest and the best possible example of global village. United Nations is the best possible example of global village. The people from around the world, from all the countries of the world, are living very peacefully with prosperity and in harmony.
Yeah.
If it is possible in such a vast country like United States, why not it is possible on the global footing? It is very much possible. But it is a progressive economy. It is a progressive world. And now we have come to the stage when we should have global democracy.
Barack Obama is the biggest example of the maturity of the American public.
That any person can come and become the president of the country. The same thing should happen, that we should have a government where anybody can participate and serve the society, not rule the society.
So capitalizing on the maturity of the US people and the citizens, you think that's going to give a great thrust and boost to your idea?
Sure enough.
To the idea that you're working for?
Because, so the thing is that the people who are living in USA, their family members are facing so many problems of visa, migration and meeting that keeps the family divided. We don't want that the families are divided now. We want that the families should be united world over. And it is possible only if there is an easy migration from any corner of the world to anywhere. No doubt, let there be some restrictions, but not that a person cannot go to some country to see the family member.
And in specific, what help do you need? What help do you solicit from the citizens or the nations? In particular, about if you talk about America, are you in search of any funds?
Honestly, we don't want funds. We don't want to create any corpus, because otherwise it will become another center of mismanagement or corruption or like that. This is such a noble task where money is not much required, but we need harmony. We need moral support. We need projects. We need sponsors of the projects. And America being the richest country of the world, one of the richest, and it being the big brother, global community from world over, we want their moral support, their material support, their support for our programs, maybe for street plays, for dramas, for exhibitions, for lectures, for discussions, for debates, and their support in our march towards United Nations. We request you all that please join us and let's fight out together peacefully and establish the global democracy. So, not only you, people living in USA from world over, but the entire society and families of yours, your brothers, your sisters, your family, your friends and your relatives can live together anywhere on the earth, wherever they want to live. So, and it will give best possible family harmony also.
So, coming to the concluding part, statistically you've been very strong, and I'm sure you must have worked out the calculations as well of how many years or how much more time do you think for this idea to see the dawn?
See, for the last 32 years we have been studying all the time that what is this and what is the statistics and this and that. Out of that we have worked out that we are spending 400 rupees per day per person in the name of defense only, while 90% of the global community are living with $1 a day. Against that, we are spending $8 a day in the name of defense. If this is closed, this chapter is closed, that $8 per person per day will definitely get diverted towards the welfare, and out of it, at least $5 will reach to the common minimum man, providing them all the basic necessities, lifetime of food, shelter, clothing, health and education, free of cost, throughout the life, provided by the government.
How much time do we see this idea seeing the dawn?
This is our common understanding and common feeling and common voice world over those who are activists is that it will be around 2 decades, because we will have to fight out the sticky authorities. We don't want to have a war against them. We don't want to work as a terrorist. But since we will be working with peace, it will take little more time. But the peace will prevail, the truth will prevail for a very, very longer period, only through peace. So we expect all of the global community that let's strive for that, let us work for that, but let's fight for that with peace only in front of United Nations, in front of the global authority named UNO. We would like to convert United Nations into United World, and we would like to enjoy the Holy of Arms world over, and we will cherish, we'll enjoy next Holi, next Duleti with burning all arms and ammunition, and we'll make a big Holi of all arms world over, because it is not required at all. When the border is eliminated, all the defense systems will be eliminated, and we'll convert that budget into a welfare activity.
So this doesn't seem a fairy tale idea or a utopian thought anymore, but a very viable and a practical solution to all the troubles and all the problems that people are facing today.
Because see, for the time immemorial, the progressive task is going on. Previously, the person used to live in a stone age. Then there were ghettos. Then there were small kingdoms. Then there were small countries. Then small continents. Then came the League of Nations. It failed again. It's okay. It was a teething trouble. Then came United Nations. We feel it is failing, but it's not failing. It is working very successfully, and it keeps peace everywhere. But we need to control all those small leaders in small countries who are creating a threat of atomic power. You take the example of North Korea. It is only 29 years old person who is trembling the entire globe, and people are feared. Why? Only because of one person is there who is not mature enough. Because that there is no proper democratic setup. When this is established, people will have peace world over. People will have prosperity world over. People will have survival world over. And nowadays, 35,000 children are dying every day before they turn 1 year old because the mother doesn't have milk to feed the child. And people will not be dying without food world over because there will be ample of fund, natural resources available. Only 2% of the global community is amassing 90% of the wealth. That will vanish.
Exploitation will vanish.
Exploitation will stop. It will be, it will become much lighter. And people have much better prosperity and good life.
So we can conclude saying that there will be a harmony of not just amongst the people, but between people and nature. Because even till now we have been exploiting nature as well.
Exactly.
Because nature knows no boundaries, and it's we who has divided the nature
out of fear only.
Out of fear, yeah. So there'll be harmony amongst people and nature, humans and nature.
There'll
be harmony
correct.
In all the dimensions, like social, religious, political. All harmony will be there.
See, what I feel personally right at this moment, it is only human being who has the least harmony with nature. If you talk about birds and animals and nature, harmony is there prevailing everywhere. Only human being doesn't have good harmony. Though most intelligent animal on the earth, that is very much feared. Now the time has come to delete that fear from the memory of mind. And it can be deleted by deleting the defense system. And defense system can be deleted only if there is nothing like independent nations. There will be coexistence of all the countries, but in the form of global government.
So this promises us, and we are left with a wonderful thought of health, wealth, and happiness.
Happiness, absolutely right.
All three of them taking birth and living peacefully.
And that's where we are facing this labor pain.
Yeah. So I am remembered about a wonderful philosopher, Victor Hugo. And we end this wonderful conversation. This can go on and on, but this has to end. So Victor Hugo says, "No force on the earth can stop the idea whose time has come." So Jai Jagat,
Jai Jagat,
Jai Jagat.
Jai Jagat.
Goodbye.
Thanks.